Hey guys, what's up? And today we're going to go over a quick project that I just finished up. It's a 3D printable stock that is held together with 4 machine screws. It's pretty simple, extremely sturdy, and should be available to print by the time this video is posted. Quick side note, it doesn't really fit into this video, however I just got a bunch of stickers printed. This is obviously only one sheet. Still got to cut them up for End War. So if you see me at End War, feel free to come up, grab some stickers. I got a few hundred printed, so I should have plenty for everyone. But if you want to get your very own Rmods 74 sticker, come grab it at End War. So as I'm sure you could guess, this is sort of modeled after a worker stock. However, that is sort of ripped off from the Nerf Lightning Storm Strike. I forget what the exact name is. But anyway, this is pretty much the same as those two. However, I made some slight differences. This one actually, as you can kind of see, this one doesn't go out until a bit further, and then it's hard to tell because I've played over it, but the hole or skeleton section, as I've been calling it, for the worker one is a lot smaller, maybe about there or so, and then the stock doesn't start at the ankle until a bit further back. However, I made a few slight changes just to make it look a bit better in my opinion, but other than that, the dimensions are pretty identical. So the main goal behind this was really just to make a pretty simple and clean stock that would be pretty easy to print. It comes in 2 pieces, so it's extremely sturdy, and right now only needs 4 machine screws, so extremely simple to put together. The hold on the stock is pretty tight. As you can see, it takes quite a bit of force to remove, which is good. That's kind of how I would like it. Also, as a side note, this is designed right now to fit pretty much any of the electronic blasters that Nerf has to offer. It won't fit on the spring ones like the EAT or the Retaliator, just because they have a little extra piece that sticks off the back. So right now this is not designed for that, just because I wanted the skeleton section to be fairly large. So I didn't put a hole through that because I thought it would look weird. But if there's a big interest for a Springer version, I guess I could do that as well. So assembly for this is super simple. Like I mentioned, you're going to need 4 632 machine screws. 2 of them are 3/4 inch length, and 2 of them are 1.5 inch length, and then 4 of the nuts that go with those. Then obviously you need to print out the 2 parts. I printed these out on my CR10S. Now, obviously it needs a little bit of support in the back square area, which is kind of difficult to see because it's all one color. However, that's really the only area that should need support. You're going to get a little bit of a strange texture on the surface, as you can kind of see here. And that's just sort of a effect from how the layering works, where the layer ends. You're going to get a little bit of a edge. However, I think it looks kind of neat, and there's sort of no way to get around that, being that you can't iron a slanted surface like you can with a flat surface in Cura. But if you really wanted to, you could sand this down and then paint it, or use a finishing product like XDC 3D or something of that nature to sort of mitigate that. But anyway, to assemble the stock, what I would recommend doing is just taking the 2 sides, lining them up. You're going to drop your 632 machine screw nuts on this side where the slots are for them. And then on this side, you're going to put the bolts through. I don't recommend tightening it all the way right away. You're going to probably want to slide it onto your blaster and then tighten it, because the thing can be pretty fit, especially if your blaster is painted. You don't want to be scratching up all the paint on the stock attachment point. So I'd recommend putting the screws in and then attaching it completely, and then tightening the screws. So I've pretty much done exactly what I've said, so it's still kind of loose of a fit, so I can slip it on without any issue, and then now I should be able to tighten the screws down. It'll be fairly difficult to remove, however you can still pull it off if you really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend doing that a lot, as it could scratch up the stock attachment point over time, especially if it's painted. Not so much in stock form, but like a painted plaster like this, I wouldn't recommend pulling it on and off. I'd recommend loosening the screws and then doing that. Just to go over some of the design iterations real quick, because some people might be interested. This was the first one. It was done on my wand house, so I had to glue the pieces together. However, as you can tell, it's very bulky compared to some of these other ones. So I like the profile that I got with my design for the first one, and when I tested it. However, way too bulky, so I decided to add a taper to it, As you can see with these other two, it goes sort of down to a thinner section where the stock would actually meet your shoulder, so it's much more comfortable. Then with this second one, I just got the CR10, so there's significant layer warping, and I decided to switch the bed for my later prints. However, the issue with this one was really I just didn't like how the nuts were seated in with the curve, so I decided to make some slight tweaks to that. And then you end up with this third option, which is the third and final model that actually got produced. There were some other ones that I did on the computer, but I didn't like how they turned out. So this is sort of the final product that you end up with, just a pretty simple and clean stock. And as mentioned previously, I'm uploading this so that people could download it. I'm not going to be selling it, so unfortunately if you don't have a printer, I can't really help you, nor do I really condone the selling of this product, as it's just I really don't want people to sell it because it's my design, and B, it's not really practical to sell because it takes like 18 hours or so to print both sides. And then when you factor in, you know, obviously material cost is cheaper than a worker stock, but you'd never really be able to sell it for cheaper than a worker stock. And if you're buying something, I'd rather pay less and get a nicer product, i.e. injection molded or something like that, over a 3D printed service. But if you own a 3D printer or have a friend or have access to one, they're becoming a lot more common now, especially the larger ones. So you can just print this out, save yourself some money, and or if you prefer the look of this over the worker stock, just go for it. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. Kind of a short one, but I just really wanted to go over the basics of this stock and then let people know that it was available. So if you would like to, you can go download that now and test it out for yourself. Feel free to give me any feedback too on the design. This is really the first, or one of the first parts that I've designed of this size. So if you have any feedback, you know, always appreciated, or if you want to see something like a Springer compatible one, I want to do a battery stock version similar to what I've done on some of my other long shot stripes and other projects. So that's sort of in the pipeline. However, it's not really a rush. It's sort of a back burner project for me right now. So as always guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video.